Another one of the works discussed in the chapter is Samuel Beckett's play, Waiting for Godot. I haven't read it yet. I have it on my nightstand, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I've read a bit about it. It seems a little on the nose, but, waiting for Godot, waiting for God. God never shows up. There's no deus ex machina at the end of the play that results in a happy ending. So you're left with this weird limbo situation. Nothing too bad is happening. Nothing too good is happening. There's a barren tree in photos I've seen of the play. I guess that's pretty easily seen as a substitute, for the tree in the Garden of Eden. Why can't we return to paradise? Life is so darn hard. Where's our happy ending? We're just stuck waiting around absurdly in modern times, post-death of God and all that stuff. Can we do anything about this condition, or do we just have to sit and wait, right? Is there an alternative to just waiting around for some miracle to come rescue us from our existential meandering, right? That's the tragicomic element of Waiting for Godot. One of the miracles of comedy, to me, is that you can get redemption for suffering, small or large, by making something funny with it, right? Like when you're ready, when you've processed something and you've moved through it to some extent, then you can try to write something funny about, your mistakes, setbacks, or even tragedies, even, existential, angst and the tragedy of that. Personally, I think the best comedy is not escapism. It's not a running away from, it's a way of facing and processing real pain. It helps you move forward. It's an initial step back toward joy. There's a related quote I like. What you most want to find will be found where you least want to look. The brightest lights are in the darkest places. There's a band I like, Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. First of all, how's that for a band name? Hello, I'm Nathaniel Rateliff, and these are the Night Sweats. Couldn't we just be like the cool guys? Nathaniel Rateliff and the cool fellas, the hip bros. No, you're the Night Sweats, and you'll like it. So, anyway, they have this song, it's called Say It Louder, and one of the lyrics is, they say sometimes what you need is exactly what you fear. You gotta go into the dark, scary place before you can run out of there laughing like a crazy maniac. The definition of Greek tragedy is that it has an unhappy ending, and Greek comedy has a happy ending. We're talking about literature. You can actually look at the biblical story of Jesus this way, right? It doesn't matter if you believe in anything Christianity or not. Like the story structure of Jesus suffering and then coming back is sort of this ultimate transformation story, right? The story of Jesus is supposed to be completely unbelievable and ridiculous. It's not supposed to make sense to go into your own death voluntarily and then come out of it. That's supposed to be a shock and a surprise that a human being could possibly do such a thing. It's not supposed to make sense. And jokes have a similar structure, right? Jokes are sort of like little unexpected mini miracles, They lead you into this dark or painful corner and then flip the script, right? Something better rises out of the ashes, somewhat miraculously and unexpectedly. That's very appealing to our brains, to our little animal neuron conglomerations up there. Part of the reason the Jesus story, I think, is so popular is that what's darker than death itself? What's a better comeback story? We love a comeback story. We can hardly believe it when some poor schlub carpenter ends up being the son of God. What? That sounds like a joke, This guy, he's a carpenter going around telling people he's the son of God just because he knows the Torah better than everybody? Come on! Just because he feeds people with extra fish? Just because he can walk on water? Just because he can heal the blind? Who does this wacko think he is? I heard he's friends with tax collectors, for God's sake. What a bum! What a bum! But we like that story. We're very into that story. Not everybody, but a lot of people. It resonates. It's weird and ridiculous and unexpected and horrible, yet ultimately hopeful, all at the same time. It's a very extreme life for someone to live. But but we want that kind of life. We want to be the nameless carpenter who figures out how to defy gravity and overcome death. Those are kind of whacked out aspirations we have as human beings, right? Because life is painful. We get reminded of that all the time. And wouldn't it be cool if we could flip all that awkward, awful, dark pain into something redeeming and uplifting and beautiful? So convert to Christianity. No, I'm kidding. Please don't do that. I'm only discussing Jesus' story as a work of literature, as a story structure. What is the psychological impact of that story? This is not an evangelical video, all right? But jokes are little miniature versions of the resurrection story of Jesus. That's why comedy comes from pain. How about that?